Hi, this is Brian Eisenhower, and we're going to talk today a little bit about sourcing buyer's agent's business, and in particular, how much business should the buyer's agent on a real estate team actually be bringing into the team themselves? And that really starts with the team or the lead agent of the team, the rainmaker, if you will, setting the proper expectations up front around how much business the buyer's agent's going to be, and that's defining actually the terms as to what is a team generated lead, leads that are deemed to have arisen from the team's business versus what is a lead or a client that is generated by the buyer's agent. And I think that's really important to differentiate and be very, very clear about to avoid any confusion down the road. And a team generated lead typically is a lead that passes the but for test. In other words, but for the team's business or the team's existence, would the lead have originated? So, for example, clearly any lead that is given from the lead agent directly to the buyer's agent obviously is a team generated lead. We know that. Any sign calls or off a team listing or any leads derived from an open house or any internet listing leads that come from the team's listings, those actually generated the lead. So typically we're going to consider that a team generated lead, since if it wasn't for the team's listings, those leads wouldn't be coming in. Any online sources you subscribe to that bring in leads, obviously like any like Zillows or Trulia leads that come in, that the team happens to pay for, or any other variety of online sources too, those are typically considered team generated leads as well. So it's very important to determine that. Typically leads that are generated by the buyer's agent themselves are from the buyer's agent COI, people they know, people they've met, friends, family, acquaintances, whatnot. In addition, any prospecting activities that they do. So if they're prospecting just listed, just solds, if they're prospecting FSBOs, expireds, things like that. So people that they're actually generating on their own without the help of any team generated lead source. Those would consider to be buyer's agent's leads. So you have, and it's very important to set expectations for that. And typically, a very standard expectation is one of 50-50 matching. So in that type of scenario, a buyer's agent is expected to generate 50% of the leads that they close in a year on their own. So you've got this matching scenario that gets created that's wonderful, where that every transaction they close um, needs to be matched by one that the buyer's agents bring in themselves. And that's very important to track that on a monthly basis, so that we know exactly the scoreboard. Every single month, the buyer's agent has closed 5 transactions that were team generated and 4 transactions that were generated by the buyer's agent themselves. And so we show that monthly for accountability and for motivation. And most importantly, we do it so that it prevents any victim-like behavior. Oftentimes with real estate teams, this terrible adversarial relationship gets created between the team or the lead agent and the buyer's agent. And it's typically because the buyer's agent is getting into a mental place where they're saying, hey, I need more leads, or I need better quality leads. And that once that starts happening, terrible things start happening, like, so therefore I want a higher commission split. I'm not making enough money because of those factors. And you start going down those paths with no real solution that's a long-term fix. In fact, those are just going to get worse and worse as you continue to band-aid those fixes. However, when you actually source the business to determine whether it comes from team or agent generated, you end up with a much more positive situation where they're actually empowered to do something about it. So let's say you get halfway through the year, and let's say that the buyer's agent has closed 20 transactions, and 15 of those are team generated leads, while only 5 of those are generated from buyer's agent's own sources. In that type of scenario, that buyer's agent happens to be tracking to close 40 transactions that year, but let's say their goal was 50 or 60. They might say, I need more money, I'm not making a living, therefore I need a higher commission split, or I need better leads, or I need more leads. In that type of scenario, a very fierce coaching conversation needs to occur, where we actually empower the buyer's agents to do something about it, that it's in their control. We're saying, hey, I want to help you too. Right now, though, we have an expectation where you're going to match us on a 50-50 basis. And unfortunately, you've closed 15 transactions, as you know, through our monthly tracking, that are team generated, and you've only brought 5 to the table. So what can we do to help you bring that 5 number up to 15? And then you're going to be very far ahead of your goal. We want you to push us. in a scenario where I would love to have the tables turned and have you generated 15 leads and we've only given you 5. That's going to really motivate us as rainmakers to hustle and get you more business so we don't lose you because you're generating so much on your own. And that's what we want is a race where it's hard for the team to feed them enough leads because that buyer's agent is generating so much themselves. And that's a very empowering, competitive, healthy environment that really promotes top talent to be on real estate teams. So it helps create more of a coaching relationship, a natural, healthy one, other than a needy victim one where I need this from you, I need this from you. There's not a good enough give and take there, which is why we always encourage that buyer's agents do have an expectation where they're going to generate business. Now, that expectation may not be to match 50-50. There's all kinds of different teams out there, and there's all different types of expectations. So people real estate teams generate business in lots of different sources and lots of different ways. So it's very important you set an expectation that is proper um, for that your particular team and for the particular buyer's agent that you've got on your team as well too. But anyway, that's a good idea. Just remember, it's very important to always source the business. So that should be regular. You track your your monthly transactions year to date. You typically track your volume year to date. But please track the actual business of the buyer's agents on your team to determine where it comes from, so you can hold each other accountable and really create a natural coaching relationship where the lead agent can actually add value and empower that buyer's agents to really succeed and hit their goals. Okay, thanks a lot.